How does that sound, young man?
Yeah, fantastic.
Right. He's very laid back, isn't he? Good day, you good people, and welcome to the latest episode. What number is this now, Chris? Do we say 21?
21.
21.
Yeah.
Are we getting any good at this yet?
I hope so. Maybe one day we will. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, sure, people will tell us.
Time will tell.
So, welcome to Brown and Marsh, as is now the current definition. It is your favourite podcast in the world, presented by blokes called Brown and Marsh. Yeah, I'm definitely working on that one. I'm meant to be the marketing guy. So, what are you up to this evening, Christopher? Anything exciting?
This evening, I mean, most of my evenings, to be fair, are taken up with football. Either coaching, I coach 2 teams at the moment, and I play twice a week as well. So, just if you ask me what I'm doing of an evening, it's generally something to do with football.
Funnily enough, my evening involves football tonight.
Does it really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I've got a mate who's a Hull City fan. So I'm going to the pub with him to watch the second leg.
Yeah.
If everyone wants to work out exactly when we're recording this, yes, it was about 6 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. So by this point, Hull City are either in the Championship still or in the Premier League.
Oh, right. Oh, okay. We've not really talked about football, you and I. But I didn't.
Well, you're a Man United fan, so I try not to.
I know you knew that about me, but I didn't know if you're into football. So there you go. Football chat. That's the football section.
That's the football section. Congratulations, by the way. You did a little run at the weekend, didn't you, Christopher?
A little run.
A cheeky 10K.
Yeah, I did the just showing the medal.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, I enjoy the 10Ks. It's the doable. You do it in an hour, and you get a nice.
You can. I'm in my 50s, mate. I'm sure you can now.
There was a woman next to me who apparently was 83 and running.
And she's probably fitter than me as well.
Well, I just had to make sure I beat her.
Well, yeah, that's embarrassing, isn't it? As you're puffing and panting over the line, there's Doris with a walking frame going past you.
Yeah, I enjoy doing that, and as part of it is sort of representing a charity, a community foundation called Forever Manchester, which is close to my heart. So I enjoy doing that.
I don't know Forever Manchester. Go on.
Well, do you know what? Maybe a future podcast we'll have a guest that can represent Forever Manchester and tell us more about it. And
are we actually planning these things ahead?
I've got something in mind. Yeah. Wait and see.
All right. Well, so speaking of podcasts, shall we introduce our guest for this week's episode?
Shall we? Go on then.
Mr. Guest, if you'd like to tell us who you are and what you do.
Well, my name's Stephen Allan, and the company is Linten Technologies that I founded 26 and a bit years ago. So my world is all about technology and helping businesses make the most of it and become very profitable using automations and technology in the best way that they possibly can.
So technology obviously is a broad range of things. If you're talking about, is it for manufacturing? So is it ERP systems, or is it networking, or is it whatever they'll pay you for?
Definitely not whatever they'll pay us for, because we can't be a master of everything. However, our pillars that we tend to approach and work on most, and where we make the biggest impact, is in the financial sector, the legal sector, and to a certain degree as well, manufacturing. So what we don't do is get involved in all of the intricacies of ERP and things like that, but we do the general support. So making sure the business is secure, making sure it has the right licensing, making sure the people know how to access it in the right way, and working with those specialty partners in each of those sectors to make sure that the software that they're using, whether that's legal practice management software, accountancy practice management software, or their ERP provider, all work and come together in a uniformed way and don't have any security breaches or issues as a result of that.
Is that probably a bigger issue now than 30 years ago when you started? The security aspects. I'm not saying you ignored it 30 years ago, but it seems to be more conscious of it.
It's always been there. However, it's become more important. So with the way that the world has changed, how connected people are, how the rest of the world can impact a network that's in Yorkshire or Lancashire or wherever it might be, in a ways that they never used to be able to in the past, and how people are more reliant on the technology. It just puts these things front and center. So, for example, a business can be impacted by one decision now, where if something happened to the PC 20 years ago, nobody would care because that was just the PC. Now it would stop the business functioning. So yes, it is critically important. And with everything that's changing in globally right now and the threats that are out there, businesses are needing to and are actually more realizing in recent, I would say even in months, that it's how important it is for their business. Everybody's kind of known somebody that's been impacted, but we've certainly seen, probably over the last 12 months, people taking it significantly more seriously and wanting to do something about it. And it's becoming part of people's budget to protect their business from cyber threats.
Yeah, because we're hearing about more and more of them, rather than people being more concerned, they're worrying because they're hearing it. They're not. I'm trying to think the best way of putting it. It's not that they are concentrating on their business. It's they're starting to cack themselves because everybody else is getting hacked, essentially.
And it's always been. We've always heard this term. It's not a case of if. It's a case of when. And you've literally got to make sure that, one, you're putting all the protection in, but you're also putting all the processes in for when it does happen. How do you minimize the impact? How do you actually stop it affecting your client data? How do you make sure that your business is still around after it's happened, because all your clients haven't deserted you, or your business can no longer function for such a long period of time that you're not able to recover from it?
It's funny because I've worked, my background is PR and marketing, and I remember 25, 30 years ago working with companies to do disaster plans from a PR perspective. Let's work out the worst case scenarios and work out what we're going to say to the press and the public, how we, not that we try and hide it, but how do we kind of stay in control of it? And it's interesting, that was 30 years ago, but it seems to have taken that long for people to actually consider it from, the IT point of view. Actually, if that server blows up, can we actually work anymore? And it's almost put a new one in. Yeah, but where's all the information? I don't know.
Yeah.
And these plans have to bring in everything from the PR aspect, as you quite rightly say, because when you have an incident, you have to be able to inform the right people who have been impacted. You have to let the authorities know that you've actually had a breach. In some cases, you might even need to pay a fine if you've had a breach, depending on what the breach is and who it's affected. But as part of the plan, it's what do we do? How do we do it? How long can we not function? Do we need insurance? What are the risks? There's so many different factors that people need to take in. So when I say that I work in IT, pretty much we're there as business advisors as well, because when we're having these conversations, we're asking questions about the wider business, not just about the IT, because it's all interlinked.
You're not just shifting boxes and sticking them in. It's you have to. Not just do we have a spare server for you, what we're going to do with the existing one if it's been hacked, and do we just want to put another one in because it's going to be exactly the same problem? But like you say, it's the big picture understanding. You seem to have a niche in sort of legal and financial, which makes sense if you get to know the business, not as well as they do, they're the lawyers or the accounts or whatever, but you have to understand all the regulations and how their business works pretty much as well as they do. Otherwise, you are a box shifter.
They've got to be able to make a decision based on what they would do, because ultimately, as you quite rightly say, a VAR, a value-added reseller, could say, we'll just have to give you another machine and it'll just stand by and do that for you. But then it's a case of, how is that machine kept in sync? So, for example, it's all very well and good having a piece of hardware sitting there, but are you actually keeping that up to date? Or is it going to take a week to get that online if there's been an incident? Or do you need it to be permanently in sync, which might cost you twice as much because you're actually running two machines, but therefore it can take over the load twice as quick? Or do you just order one when you have a problem, and that might take 3 weeks? So these are all the things that we're helping people make those decisions on. And ultimately, there's no end to the possibilities for every business. It's about weighing up what works for every particular business.
Yeah,
Sounds
when
fascinating.
it's business continuity and disaster recovery discussions, it's just that, like you say, it's that real world. What would happen if? I remember being in a client's office and they showed me the servers in Iraq, and I said, what happens if what happens in an emergency? Say the fire, there was a fire in the building, and they said, oh, we've got a disaster recovery plan on a piece of paper that's stuck to the back of the rack. Like, okay, that doesn't really make sense if there's a fire. And they sort of looked at each other. So it's bringing, without doing the scare factor, it's just bringing those situations to life and saying, actually, what are the logistics of making sure that your business does continue? You're not reliant upon one solution. That if you're generating money on a minute by minute basis or hours or day, whatever that sort of looks like, that there's no disruption to service. So
it's a really important point that you're making there, Chris, because 10 years ago, when that server rack was probably put in, that plan was probably fine because the business didn't depend on it. So that's probably would be all they would need. And the plan's there. And if it goes down for a few days, we're fine. We can just revert back to paper. Yeah. But the business has probably moved on so much and they've never reviewed it. And sometimes it just takes somebody to come in and ask that critical question, as you did there. Well, what if? Yeah. And then they go, oh, actually, we probably do need to think about something a bit different.
No, I didn't ask the question to make them look stupid or feel stupid, but I fear that I probably did in the end. So what was it that's kind of got you to that? Obviously, you talked about the 26 years of when you founded Linten. Obviously, we worked together in a kind of a similar role. We talk about disaster recovery solutions, which was part of our offering. So what sort of led you to that point? Where was it that Stephen thought about technology and how you could help people?
You want me to take my journey right the way back to the beginning?
Go on, let's go back. Don't need to go
Screen's
too
get
far
all
back.
wobbling, we're going to get all misty-eyed.
Well, if I could take you back to my school days, I was always a bit into technology and something new. I was always a bit entrepreneurial. I think my parents and all of my family used to think I was going to do something amazing and be the next Richard Branson, but I think every parent thinks about their children in that way. Of course, never going to happen. However, as a dyslexic, when I was at school, I was always trying to find my road. What works for me? What can I do? And I was always very good at figuring things out, where I wanted to be. And I was always quite entrepreneurial as I was as a child. I think I started my first business when I was 8, selling pet food and hay and straw to all the kids in the area with rabbits and you name it. I did it at school. I was selling stationery from a little bag and until the headmaster called me in and said to me, you're putting our shop out of business. You can either stop doing it or give your profits to us and continue. And I said, well, I'll stop doing it. Thank you very much. So the natural thing for me was to go to university, study technology. I actually did business informatics, which was a crossover between being a consultant style role and being a technical role. So I did a bit of business and a bit of IT, which led me straight out of university to start in what was Linten Business Support back in the day. And that was... I joined up actually with a girl I was at university with, and she wanted to be a teacher. And I said, why don't you come and be an IT trainer? And she was a farmer's daughter. So we went over to North Yorkshire.
Sounds like a folk song. She was only a farmer's daughter.
Well, I didn't say she was only a farmer's daughter. She was a farmer's daughter. And we decided what we were going to do is we were going to set up a business called Linten Business Support back in the day. And we were going to look after the rural community and help them with their diversification and getting... It was at the time where they were just changing all the rules on farmers needing to get online. So she wanted to be a teacher. And I said, well, let's go and train the farmers on how to use technology. And then I'll come and do the consultant piece as to what they need. So we would go into all of these businesses that were wanting to set up B&Bs and diversify in whatever way they were wanted or submit their forms online for IACs up to their farm movements. She would train them and I would supply them with the kit. We did that until foot and mouth. At that point, she went off to be a teacher and I took on Linten full time, and that's when we became Linten Technologies. And I was doing consultancy for a number of years until a mutual friend of Chris and I's said, why don't you come over and help me with my business? And that's when I decided to take this bedroom business, put it on hold for a little while, found a friend of mine that looked after it and nurtured the business whilst I was doing that. And I went into doing some server hosting work, and that's where Chris and I bumped into each other. And we were both part of the sales team for a company that was later acquired, and Chris and I exited roughly around similar times after the acquisition. And that's when I went back full-time into Linten. And the person that was looking after it for me joined the business, and he became the technical director, and I looked after the commercial side of things. That was 10 or 15 years ago, something like that. I've lost track of time. But anyway.
Happens, mate.
It does. From that time, we've gone from being an IT company that was just doing a little bit of hosting, doing a little bit of email, doing some IT support, to being a full Microsoft house where we take everybody through the entire journey, and we look after every aspect of people's business IT. So that's what we do that makes us a little bit different these days, if I jump right into the right now, is we packagize what we do. So rather than saying, well, this is all the possibilities that you can have when it comes to IT, now what we do is we say, well, this is what you need to be secure in your business. You need this license with this, with this. And so we package the support with 365 licensing, with the security licensing, and effectively put all of the measures in place that a business would need to do to achieve things like cyber essentials, and give them the peace of mind that they're doing all the right things, but also setting them up for AI adoption, setting them up for being able to use Copilot and all of the other modern day tools to make sure they've got the security structures in place and doing things right. So our clients, as you first started asking me, Ross, as to what we do, we're effectively going into somebody that might be a finance house and making sure that all of their foundations are right, that they can operate the systems that they need to do that are unique to their particular sector or business on top of those foundations, and report on it and give them peace of mind that they've got all the right measures in place, and offer them the solutions that are then needed to develop that as we work with them over the years. So, sorry, that was a very long answer.
No, it's all right, mate. No,
perfect. Perfect. No, that just sort of demonstrates to me how well you and I worked well together, because you clearly know the ins and outs from a technical perspective of the product. And when we worked together at the server hosting company called Melbourne Server Hosting, we worked well together because not that you weren't good at building relationships, because you clearly are. I love bringing people in and showing them the nuts and bolts and showing them around. And I'd often bring Stephen in to sort of do the technical bit, which I knew he was more than competent, and 9 times out of 10 we won the deal. So just sort of me relying on knowing exactly who Stephen was and how he naturally carries himself really helped me in developing my business development skills, my sales skills as a person in the tech industry as well.
Don't you have to thank Stephen for introducing you to something?
He
says so anyway. He said that when we had the quick hello before we started. So
Stephen might have.
Stephen, you tell us your version of the story.
I think Chris came to Melbourne as a very, very confident salesperson, young and enthusiastic, and
you soon beat that out of him.
I was a fairly big networker at the time. I was doing a lot of networking around Manchester, and I suggested, why don't you go along to some of these things? I'm not so sure about all of that networking game. And I think you did go along to a few and got the bug. Maybe you'd have done it before or not done it in the right places. I don't know, but certainly you've certainly found your niche, and you overtook me as to becoming the Manchester's go-to networking guru.
I'd say tart, but yeah, go on. You said that.
Yeah.
Well, I would have said I used to say I used to go with the opening of an envelope.
Yeah, if somebody opened a fridge, I'd be there.
Yeah, I opened my fridge last night. He was sat there going, "Get out."
You might remember it differently, Chris.
Yeah,
what's your version?
I went to a Mark Greenwood event, Simply Networking, who Stephen knows very well. He's since retired now, actually. But I was 28, Now, I joined Melbourne with Stephen at 30, so there probably was a 2-year period of me going, should I be going to this networking thing? Should I be sat at a desk trying to sell stuff? But again, like Stephen said, joining a company like Melbourne and Daniel, who ran it, obviously saw the value in it and encouraged us to whatever that sort of new business, that sort of activity looked like, if networking was part of it, then go for it. And it paid off. And it paid off because, like I've said on many of our podcasts, I wish I'd started networking sooner, because I see what the benefit is now at 46 of when I started when I was 28, 30. But yeah, Stephen, again, he's very prevalent on the networking scene and knows which networking events to go to, and also knows how to get the most out of it as well. So do you still go to, there's one called MBBC, do you still go to that, Stephen?
I don't.
Okay.
We actually, as a company, just stopped going to that about a year ago now.
Okay.
But so I did do it for a long time.
Did? Yeah.
So that was Manchester Business Breakfast Club on a Friday morning. Always an interesting crowd, and it's. I still keep in touch with a lot of them. A lot of them are clients still.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But I think from a networking perspective, I've always been a bit of an introvert. But however, saying that, I would love standing up in front of a room of 200 people and talking about tech and talking about something I'm passionate about. But networking for me was always a bit forced. I wanted to do it, but I would be quite happy being that one stood in the corner with my phone and waiting for somebody to come over and talk to me.
Yeah.
And I think you're the opposite, Chris. You just dive straight in there, don't you?
Gobshite is the word.
The
Gobshite.
Yeah. It's there's been a busy fill, and there's also understanding that you're there to get something out of it.
Yeah.
Now that's not always the case, and sometimes you will go something and come away and think, I might have wasted my time there, but you just have to keep going. I keep using this phrase, Ross.
Visibility creates opportunity.
There it is.
Oh, it's like a bingo game, to be honest with you.
I might have said it once or twice. Visibility creates opportunity. I totally believe it.
Literally, if people listen to this, I think that's the point they take a shot. Because he says it at least twice an episode. So I have visions of people like that going, "Oh, he said it."
Oh, he said it. Yeah, bingo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the good news is we're still doing networking as a company now.
Great. Yeah.
I might occasionally go along and see some of the networking groups because they all seem to remember me. But the team are always there. And as a business, we spent the last 3 years focusing on our existing client base because we'd got to a point where our client base had grown so much, and we wanted to focus a lot of our efforts on making sure everything within every client was right and we were doing the right things for them. And what we were feeling was new business was actually stopping us doing the best for our clients. So we actually put the brakes on a bit. So although we did keep some of our networking going, we didn't go to as much as we used to. We've actually now, as of this month, actually, so it's our new financial year this month, we've actually put our foot back on the gas a little bit with networking, and we've got a separate team solely focused on new business within Linten again. So you'll probably start to see them out and about around Manchester a little bit more.
Yeah, that's great. No, I always look out, and whenever I go to, there's a couple of events that I've got in mind, and I saw your logo, and I'd go over and I'd say, oh, I know Stephen Allan. And then my next question was always, is he in the country at the moment? Because I know you seem to be spending a lot of time or taking the benefit of travelling a little bit. So, do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Well, I can.
The answer is yes, because if it's no, that was
no.
dead end.
Actually, yeah.
No, it's a secret. No, in case the taxman hears, then yeah.
Well, I think probably the thing that happened, as you can imagine, we all went through the COVID bubble and how that impacted technology.
Yeah.
During that time, I was overseas. I was in Spain at the time, and I decided to spend a bit of time there until it was safe to come back to the UK. And everyone was working remotely back then. It didn't make a difference, but we were really helping a lot of our clients with their remote working. I might have got the bug a little bit for doing that.
You know it's safe to come back now, don't you, Stephen?
Well, that's what they say, but
I'm not sure.
You're not risking it. Yeah, I get it, mate. I get it.
We've talked a little bit about ages and where people are, and I think, well, probably within the next 10 years, I might want to retire. You never know. So the sort of things that I'm thinking about now is how can I get my business, Linten, to a point where it doesn't need me on a day-to-day basis. It's not there yet. I'm still working very closely operationally with the team. But the team has grown significantly. We've got a very well-established SLT team that look after the day-to-day operations. They're all doing very well. I come in and support them. I can do that from anywhere in the world. Currently sitting talking to you from the Canary Islands. I'm probably spending a few months of the year here.
How do you cope? How do you cope with that? I mean, it sounds painful.
It sounds tough.
It's terrible. You guys can see me on this, but the listeners can't. You see how pale and pasty I am, and people say, "What's going on?" Well, I'm sitting indoors on this laptop computer all day working, and I go out at night, so I don't get a tan. But it's interesting what you say, because I actually think that when and I say this, and people don't believe me, and you guys will be skeptical, I'm sure, as well.
We'll believe every word you say, Stephen, obviously.
When I'm here, I feel like I probably work as hard, if not harder. However, it has a totally different feeling to it. I feel like I still have a life, because I'll do my full day's work, 9 to 5, if not longer, as a business owner. As you all know, we're still here in the evenings. But then I'll probably still go out. And like, for example, last night I was going out at 10 o'clock. In the UK, I would never set out walking to go somewhere at 10 o'clock to go for a drink. That's the time I'm coming home.
Yeah.
But here in the Canaries, it's a different way of working, and you just feel like you have more of a work-life balance, even with doing the same amount of work. So take that the way you want to take it.
No,
that's how it feels to me.
There's probably a degree of I'm abroad and need to prove that I am working, even if it's just to yourself, because you're the boss. You don't necessarily need to prove it to anybody else, but there's a degree of I just need to prove that I am actually working hard. So you probably work a bit harder than you would do anyway. But also, it's warmer in the evening. It might not be cracking the flags at the moment. It's just probably just nice. But at 10 o'clock at night round here, it's going to be bloody freezing. But in the Canaries, you might just, stick a hoodie on, and that's more than enough. And you can go out for a pint for an hour or two. And it's
more like a shortened T-shirt, but yeah, there you go.
Oh, don't. Oh, no.
But when it's your business,
I didn't beforehand. I do now.
When it's your business, you're naturally going to want to make sure that you're putting that activity in and that effort in and understanding what's going on in your business, aren't you? I suppose no matter where you are in the world.
Well, it's interesting you say that, because yes, it's that and making sure you've got the right team that are in place as well. Because I've talked a lot about how we help other businesses with their technology and their processes. And it's also getting your own house in order. So a lot of what I've done over the last few years is to actually get Linten in order. And that's not to say it was in a bad shape or form before, but it's actually about doing what we preach, getting the right processes in, getting the resilience in there, getting the right policies and processes in there. And these are the basic foundations that help any business grow. And they are helping Linten grow. They're helping us do what we do best. So it's doing what we preach. Yeah. I'm a firm believer in that.
And the good thing is, as you're doing it, you can find better ways of doing things before you're getting a client to pay for them. So you can actually say, well, actually, most people would do that, but we do this. And actually, we find it's actually a bit cheaper, and it's a lot smoother. So you're not just selling this is Microsoft product 27B. You're going, actually, this is what we do, which I think carries a hell of a lot more weight as well.
Absolutely. And certainly with even things like the Copilot adoption and things like that, within our team, all of our team have got full Copilot licenses so that they can use it, they can understand it, they can make the most of it, and then they can also preach those benefits and to the clients when they're meeting them as well.
I've not played with Copilot yet. How good is it?
I would say that Copilot is by far the best. But that's not just because I'm a Microsoft house. But if you consider, for example, most of the AI agents, what they're actually doing is they're looking at a big outside model And yes, you can tie those in to some of your internal files and folders, but the way that Copilot works is it actually looks at all of your internal policies, your process documents, and it interrogates them so that when you're asking a question, how do we sell this, or how does this package with this, it looks at your processes and your way of doing it to know the correct information, and it can see all of your SharePoint environment and your OneDrive environment to be able to make those decisions. Then it can actually still go out to the outside world. So what people don't often realize is that Copilot actually includes some of the bigger AI agents like Claude and things like that are actually part of it. So rather than getting a separate subscription to Claude, you may as well have Copilot, and you get the benefits of Copilot, and then you get Claude as well. And ChatGPT, and whatever you want to use, it's all part of the same thing.
It's your personal LLM then. It's not the Claude one, it's not the ChatGPT, it's your large language model, because you've created it with all the thousands of documents.
Yeah. But it's that from a security perspective as well, because ultimately you don't want when your team are querying it for your information to be publicly accessible or to be able to get. So actually being able to query your internal documents is really, really powerful. But what this actually, as you're probably thinking the alarm bells ringing in the back of your head right now, is suddenly people have had these flat structures of where they store their information. And for example, they might have had their directors folder and not given anyone access to it, but ultimately they might have had permission to see it, or a HR folder or something like that. So really important piece for all businesses at the moment is actually to have an audit done of your infrastructure to actually see what people can access, make sure all the hierarchy's there, make sure everything's locked down into the right way before you release the agents at it. Because whilst you might not have gone in before and said, tell me what the director's pay is, to go look for it before. Now you suddenly do it, and it just gives it to you, and you're like, oh, I shouldn't be looking at that, but it's in your face. So if you don't get the foundations of AI right, and this is what a lot of businesses are doing right now, a lot of business owners are saying to all of their team, go and use AI and make the most of it. And everyone's going out there and getting, I'll get this agent, I'll get this one, I'll get this one, and I'll get this one. And you've got no control over it. So you need policies that drive how the team use AI, making sure that they're using ones that you want them to use in a controlled manner, and making sure that people have got the right access to it. So the stages really are foundational, making sure all the security permissions are right, rolling out the AI, and then next, how do you actually develop the business to make the most of AI, and training the people to get the most out of AI. So it's definitely a 3-step approach.
Yeah, it's all fascinating. I mean, the problem I have with AI is coming from a creative background, and when I see people who've used it for copywriting or design or things like that, and it's usually shit, and you can usually spot it a mile off. But when people use it as an assistant, a PA, a researcher, you can't beat it. And I think I'm hoping that the focus will go more towards that kind of, it's my co-pilot, it's my sidekick.
That's why it's named Copilot.
Exactly, yeah. That's why I use the name, Stephen. I'm not stupid. I'm not as stupid as I look. But
in your world, have you seen that example? I probably shouldn't name it. No. Manchester Airport have got a big, huge banner up in Terminal 2, I think it is, as you're going through duty free. And it's this huge, huge picture. And there's a guy holding a camera with both hands. And then one of his hands is actually up in the air as well. So it's obviously an AI image.
Is he from Withenshaw?
Well, he's obviously got 3 arms. But anyway, the fact is somebody's used AI, quite rightly, generate the image, but then they haven't sense checked it. They haven't looked over it. Wow. And that's a really important factor. And the fact that I saw it on social media first, and as I went through the airport a couple of weeks ago, I was like, oh, there's that image.
Well, because you're thinking, that's got to be docked. That's photoshopped. They wouldn't be that stupid. Oh, they have been that stupid, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I've used Gemini on some pictures of me because I was like, I need a version of that picture, but I want it slightly different. So I'll get it to, all right, take this photograph, it's me, change the jacket, have me looking that, whatever, those kind of things. And it still doesn't always work, because I look at it and go, bugger all like me. And it's just done something, you're going, no, it's not me anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, that's a better version of me, I like that one. But you've got to be careful, but when you're just dealing with pure data, whether it's metadata or the information in the Word document, whatever, it can't bugger that one up. You know, it's not been asked to extrapolate something and jump to the next level. It's like, here's information. I want you to find the answer to these questions, but tie these together. It's not been asked to be creative. It is, but do you know what I mean?
It's really important to use it right. There's so many examples of AI learning from AI. So somebody's produced something using AI. It's got loads of errors in it, or it's had something padded in, and then another AI agent is taking that as fact. And suddenly, the internet just gets filled with all of this fodder that none of it's correct. Or other examples I've seen in the financial sector that we work with a lot is they might go and ask a tax permutation question, and it'll give you the answer, but it'll find it on the internet from 10 years ago, and it's no longer relevant or correct. So it's really important, as you quite rightly say, use it as your PA, use it as your co-pilot, but in the same way as a director would ask the PA to go and write this email from them, they still send it to you to check and say, is this what you wanted me to send? Yeah. And that's still the important thing with AI.
Still the human element. Yeah. There was an old AI that purely used Twitter, wasn't there? Very famously, and then they quickly realised they couldn't just rely on this because people were writing all sorts on Twitter. And
Grok was a bit like that. The X AI. Yeah. And basically, within about 20 minutes of it being fired up, it was a massive Nazi.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it was reading all the worst parts of Twitter.
Yeah. So it is that importance. But I mean, we've discussed AI a few times on the podcast, haven't we? But and the sort of the comment that I think it was Dan Sodergren that made was that it's at its worst point now. It'll only get better, which is reassuring. I think we all sort of subscribe to the idea of technology should be there to enrich our lives and to help us and to make things sort of improve things. So, but yeah, no, you're absolutely right, Stephen. That you have to treat it with a serious hand and check what's going on. So on that vein, what does the future look like? What does the future look like for Stephen Allan? We don't have to, from a Linten perspective. You've talked about potential changes there, but what about yourself? How do you see Stephen Allan? What does Stephen Allan look like in the next 5 years?
More travelling, if you can believe it.
Yeah. Okay. Can't believe it.
I bought myself
a fine, Chris. I believe him.
I got myself a motorhome. And I'm enjoying travelling around. So the times when I am in the UK, I might be on the road. Yeah. I have embraced Mr. Musk's Starlink on the roof of it so that I can work from anywhere.
Great.
But I'm looking at more trips in that, exploring more of the UK and maybe some of Europe as well. Yeah. So that's exciting times for me.
Have you got wife, kids, anything like that to worry about, or is it just...
No, he doesn't have anything like that to worry about. It's
nothing dragging him down.
Yeah, fun, free, and single. So no, I do have a partner, but
you said
he works in the financial sector, so he's a chartered accountant. So
he's always going to be busy, then, isn't he? Because you always need a good accountant.
Absolutely, yes, and it's very useful to have an accountant as a partner and running a business. Yeah. So
Excuse me, darling. Yes, just have a look at these for me. I think I've bucketed something up somewhere.
Yeah, I might have to put this Starlink through the business. Anywhere in particular? Any sort of places that you've not been to that you're looking forward to, or places that you're going to return to?
Well, I think. And what I'm trying to do is go to some of the far-flung cities of the UK. Okay. That's been my first round. So I've been kind of going to lots of different cities around the UK. But I think long term, when I get some more big chunks, there might be the opportunity to go and have a little trip around Scotland, maybe take it over to Europe. I've done a few little trips to Europe. I am planning one this summer where I'm going to have a little trip around Spain. I'm going to go all the way around the coast of Spain and Portugal. Wow.
Sounds great, Stephen. How are you going to go? It really does sound awful.
Absolutely, doesn't it?
Yeah. If you decide you want a break for a couple of weeks, me and Chris are happy to take over. and continue.
Right, okay.
No, I'm not confident taking over Linten Technologies.
No.
But Linten will carry on.
I meant driving the motor.
I know you did, Ross, obviously.
But there is also things like within Linten, I'm doing a lot more of my podcasts and things now. So we're I don't know if you've checked out the Linten podcast at all, but
I'm about to.
That's all about us speaking with clients we've helped on journeys, speaking to suppliers, industry experts, and actually just basically looking at the sector and how we can help people navigate the sector in the best and most secure way. Brilliant. So we've had some very, very interesting guests on there, and that's I've had to start being a bit extrovert and asking questions and being the interviewer on these this podcast. So
how does it feel being on the other side of the microphone?
You don't like it?
I don't mind it. Yeah, it's not too bad because then I don't have to think on my feet. I can just sit back.
We're just chatting. So how can people find this podcast? How do they access it? Because I'm sure some of the listeners...
It's right in front of me at the moment. linten.co.uk/podcast. Chris, they've got video, Chris. They're doing video.
Oh yes, I should have mentioned it's a video. So effectively, we're releasing one per month, not as regular as your weekly one. I've currently recorded as far as June at the moment, I think, or maybe July. But so we've got them all banked up. I do them all in person, so I do them when I'm back in the UK.
Yeah.
But it's been quite interesting because we've met some of the industry experts, some of the latest ones that might be going out around the same time as your podcast here with me on. We've got interviews with Microsoft and Copilot. We've got interviews with people that are helping people securing the policies within their business. So I won't go into too much detail on them. People should check out the podcast.
Yeah. Great. Yeah,
I'm just looking at this one here with Amanda Coleman. Led the police communication response to the arena attack in 2017. You're like, oh, that's going to be interesting straight away.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, it was a very, very interesting chat.
I'll listen to that one. Yeah. Where do you do them from the office in Manchester?
We do them from the office in Manchester. Yeah, we're actually just in the process of building a little mini studio at the office to be able to do more as well. Yeah. It's a bit of a team project. So as you're probably aware, we have our office in Old Trafford, not too far from your favourite location.
Oh, are you another United fan?
I'm not. I don't follow the football. So there's no football in my life, unfortunately.
Oh, mate, it keeps inviting United fans on, hoping I won't notice.
I don't do football chat. It's you that keeps bringing up football, not me.
You keep inviting bloody United fans. Sorry, Stephen.
Well, his office. I know where the office is. Yeah. I always park outside. I didn't realise. Wait. It was only recently that just off on that street. That's where I generally park when I go to the match. But there you go. Sorry.
Oh well, maybe you should let us know. You've got a car park that's always empty.
Yeah.
But anyway, I shouldn't put that on here, should I?
Charge me for it as well.
Charging.
Yeah.
There are a few United fans that have used it for parking. So sometimes I get messages from people in networking, just use your car park, Stephen.
Yeah.
But ultimately, we used to be in the city centre, as you quite rightly know. And during COVID, we had the big issue with the whole of the city centre being turned over to the bars being on the streets. So it became really difficult for us to get in and out with carrying kit and things because we couldn't park outside the office. So the Old Trafford office was the perfect place for us to go, where we still got vehicle access. But we renovated it all. It's very similar to what we had in the city centre. So we've got that sort of industrial theme. Yeah. But the team wanted something for them as well. So at the moment, the team are converting the basement in our office to be a space for them. So it's a gaming area and a place for them to go and chill, a bit of an area for them to just go and just do what they want to do. And part of that, they're actually building like a bit of a prayer room as well, and they're building a podcast room. Yeah. So it's a team project. So rather than us getting people in to come and do the renovations, they're all picking up the paintbrushes and doing everything themselves. Right. So it'd be quite interesting to see how they actually do with it.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, fantastic. Oh, I need to come and see it. You need to invite me over.
I will do.
I'd love to come and see it.
On a serious note, I am an audio geek, and if, as a mate, you want a bit of advice about the podcasting side of things, what kit to buy, if there's anything you still need to buy, give us a shout. I may be insulting you. You've actually got a degree in audio engineering, but just in case.
I definitely don't have a degree in audio engineering.
But,
however, what we're doing at the moment is the space is just being kitted out with like the sound walls and things like that, because we actually have our marketing company bring their podcasting people in to do all the recording. So I'm fully reliant on them at the moment, because they bring all the cameras in and all the sound equipment each time we have one of our video interviews.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I've seen you do other
some
things.
Impartial advice about what to buy, give us a shout.
We'll go on. Ross and I'll come over. You do other things with staff, don't you? I've noticed I saw
that sounds dodgy.
litter picking as a sort of not team building, but as a sort of something that you want to do, sort of as part of looking after your doorstep, looking after the local environment. What was the sort of thinking behind that?
Well, one of the biggest changes I was talking about the last few years of getting all of our things in order, one of the biggest things for us was improving the culture of the business. What the brief that I gave to the team was, I wanted Linten to be a place where people wanted to work.
Yeah.
So we didn't have to go out to hunt for people to come and work for us and use recruiters. I wanted people to be knocking on our door as a place to work. So it was all about getting that in place to be right. And of course, we can do what everybody else does. And we do what everybody else does with the health cash plans and giving the holiday incentives and giving your birthday off and all of the other niceties that we do. We actually just went through it today. There's a whole page of benefits that we give to everybody that comes in. But that's only part of the picture, isn't it? Because in today's world, people want to work for a company where they feel that the company actually it stands for something.
If you drop dead today, would they give a shit, basically? Or would you be replaced by 9 a.m. tomorrow morning?
Yeah.
So
how many companies have you worked for where, we love you, we adore you. He's dead, get another one in.
So going on to the answer to your question there, Chris, is what have we done? Why? It's for example, we've created cultural ambassadors within the team, and they're responsible for organising our team days, organising our get-togethers and things that we do. And the team days are they're an opportunity for us to talk about what we do and what they need to know, but it's also about what they get out of it. So we're always having things like we'll support a different business in the local area to bring lunch in for us. We'll go and do things like we've done walks along the canals that are near us. We've done rounders where we go out and play team sports in the local park. The latest one was Earth Day, and for Earth Day, that's where we went and did litter picking around the local area to improve the environment where our office is based. And that was something that was one of our team, they were really passionate about, and they wanted to get everybody involved in.
Great.
So it's whatever is important for our team.
Yeah.
We want to try and get behind it as much as we can.
To show. But like you say, it's all underpinned by the culture element. For me, I think it's your clients that need to see that and need to hear about it, and your prospects as well. This is how we look after staff. This is how the staff feel. It's not just people like they enjoy the job. It's they want to come here to work. They enjoy coming here. And forgive me, but the birthday off, I always had a problem with. There's somewhere I worked, and they said, "We give you a birthday off." I don't want my birthday off. Because all my mates are at work. What am I going to do on my own at home? I'd rather be with my pals in work. So it might be that you have the I don't know, the Friday off or the Monday off or whatever. But
we let them choose it within a few weeks of their birthday, so they can choose what they want to do. So if they want to have a long weekend away somewhere, they can use it for that purpose.
Yeah, if you're going to do something over a weekend or if there's something special. But
you're an ungrateful sod, aren't you, man?
It was just something that struck me but. What am I going to do on my own? On my birthday? It's quite
Go
lonely.
to the pub.
I'd rather... On your own?
On your own, yeah.
Okay.
I spent many happy afternoons in the pub by myself with a book.
Yeah. Talk to somebody.
Yeah. I always find somebody to talk to.
That's great. Yeah. No, well, listen, I'm really pleased to hear that you've got that focus on the people side of the business and making sure that, like you say, that you've kind of identified that and that you want to make the most of it and whatever.
It's something we're hearing more and more, isn't it?
Yeah.
So people we're talking to.
Yeah.
Well, I think you and I, Chris, we both had the same grounding on all of this, because when our time at Melbourne was leading the way in its culture with its people, and every single business around Manchester wanted to see what we were doing.
Yeah.
Whether it was the amazing, before it was popular to have a Google style office, Melbourne had a Google style office and was doing all the right things. Yeah. And the owner of Melbourne, Dan Kieran Foster, he basically what he was all about was making sure that everybody really enjoyed coming to work. And that stuck with me. I don't know if it has with you, Chris. And that's what I've tried to make sure that Linten has the same way of doing things.
Yeah. I think we were very lucky in that we had someone who was leading us who also shared that, but was also to make the investment into the environment as well, which sort of solidified his investment in us, and made it easy for us, like Stephen says, that we got press off the back of it, and that people heard about us and they wanted to come and see it and view it and experience it for themselves. So and that paid dividends, but fundamentally it still has to be genuine, doesn't it? It's all well and good painting the walls a certain colour around a pool table, but you still have to recruit in the right way. And I think that's something that we did very well at Melbourne. So that's obviously instilled in you as well, Stephen. So
absolutely,
I can congratulate you on everything you've done with Linten, and I look forward to seeing what happens in the future.
Yeah.
So if people, I mean, we've touched on listening to your podcast to find out more about Linten, but if people need to get in touch with you, want to have a chat with you, but perhaps about working with you, working for you, inviting you on other podcasts, how would they get in touch, Stephen?
The best way to do it really is to message me on LinkedIn. As you guys were saying, you were checking out my LinkedIn to see what was new on there before. I will admit to you that I do have somebody that screens my LinkedIn before it comes to me.
To be so important, I can just screen my LinkedIn.
It's
Mate, I don't worry. Hey, you're a busy man. You've got a company to run. I've got a company to run, but you're looking at the only member of staff. Same with Chris.
Yeah, so definitely drop me a message, Stephen Allan, on LinkedIn. You'll probably see me in the Linten shirt as the picture, so it's the easiest way to find me. Yeah. You can also drop me a message on Instagram if you prefer. They're all if you just search Linten Technologies or Linten Tech, you'll see it come straight up there. Yeah. Or if you just literally want to check us out, it's linten.co.uk is our web address, and I'm always happy for anybody that wants to reach out, even give us a call at the office and have a chat.
Great.
What I like about your website, as somebody who builds websites, it doesn't look like a tech company website. It's got a bit more about it. Yes, it's technology, but it's not dull. Most of them are quite, we've got a computer. There's not a bloody computer in the first bit of your website. You know, I love that.
You say that, and then literally today I had my SLT this morning, and our head of marketing was saying about the revamp of the website to make it even easier to use and bring it up to date. So there might be an update coming soon,
and that might be even better, Stephen. All I'm saying is I like it anyway.
We like it.
That's the important. I like it.
Yeah.
No. Transforming businesses through technology. Too many websites don't say what they're all about. You know, it's we're bloody great, we are. I don't care if you're bloody great. What can you do for me? And whereas you're selling it straight up, and too many. Well, anyway, that's my bugbear. Chris has got visibility creates opportunity. Mine is don't tell me what you can do. Tell me what you can do for me. And so many websites just fail that, but yours doesn't. So you know,
the whole point of technology and what we do is not telling people what's out there. It's actually saying how technology can help transform their business. Because every business owner wants their business to be better, more profitable, however that might be. And they want to make sure they're doing things in the most efficient way. And that's what we're there to do with technology. It's to make their business function better.
Somebody asked me what clock speed was on my MacBook Pro. I've got a bloody clue. How can you not know? Because it's an M3 MacBook Pro and it works. And what clock speed is it? No idea. Because that stuff's irrelevant.
Do you need to know?
But what you would care about is if you turned it on and it took 15 minutes to boot up, or you were working inefficiency.
If it takes 15 seconds, I think it's gone too slow at the moment.
Yeah.
These things are amazing.
Yeah.
But this is a long story of mine that goes back years. But ultimately, there's so many businesses that don't invest in their people.
Yeah.
They give them machines that are 10 years old, and the member of staff, they should come in, they turn it on, and they go and make a cup of tea. They chat to everybody in the office, and then they sit back down. Oh, it's nearly finished booting up. And it's, if you don't invest and give the people the right tools to do the right job, they become inefficient, and then they just don't function. You don't get the value out of them. They are your most expensive resource in every business, is your people. And if you don't invest in them, they're going to go to somebody that does invest in them. So give them the right tools to do the job at the right speed, and make sure that they're happy with what they've got. Why hold them back?
It's not rocket science, is it?
Perfect. Yeah. Are you hiring at the moment, Stephen? Are you?
You have to job, Chris.
I've just going to say, you need somebody for marketing or business development.
I tell you what, he's selling it to me though.
I was just thinking, if are you open to anybody remote working from Yorkshire?
I bet there'll be other people listening to. But I mean,
but we get to hear it first.
Just as a compliment to how you treat people and how you treat staff and how you look after people. So I'm sure there'll be a lot of people that'll think the same. So listen, it's been
a great place to work, mate.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. So listen, I'm really pleased that you. Agreed to be our victim.
I think he was bullied into it, didn't he?
Our guest.
He was bullied into it.
It sounds like it, yeah. But no, brilliant to catch up, Stephen. It's been a while since we've seen each other, but it's always a pleasure, and I'm really pleased to hear of all successes and how you live in your life with and doing the things that you want to do. So
sounds fun.
I'm very, very grateful.
All right, here's a quick sign off. Here's a quick sign off. If you've enjoyed us, please subscribe. Apple Podcasts, Amazon, Spotify, Podverse, or just go to brownandmarsh.co.uk. And if you want your own podcast, you can go to the fancy Dans who do the video stuff, or you can talk to me who does a good audio one, northernpods.com. How about yourself, Christopher?
Yeah, if you'd like to know more about how I can help you with business development, my services are listed on agentsof.co.uk.
You forgot for a second there your own website.
I did. I was like,
you did. Yeah, who do I work for?
Who am I again?
Yeah. It's been a long day and it's only 3:00.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you very much for your time, everybody, including yourself, Stephen, of course. Brilliant. And it's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from him.
Goodbye.
Brown and Marsh is a Northern Pods production. Find out more at northernpods.com.